The final concept that we're going to cover in chapter 1 is the law of equity. Now, an equitable remedy is different than the remedies that we talked about in a previous video where we talked about getting money or going to prison and those kinds of things. The law of equity works a little bit differently, and it's more meant for situations where if the law is applied uniformly, it doesn't really serve justice or fairness or make sense in that particular situation. And the text gives a really good example of a lawful protest. And we saw this happen a little bit during COVID, where there would be protests outside of hospitals, lawful protests. We have charter protections for our ability to have peaceful assembly. And even though there was nothing illegal about the protest that was happening, it was blocking entrances and access to healthcare to the public in a time where it was really serious and really important for people to have ease of entry into the hospital. And so if we were to apply the rule uniformly that, nope, you guys can protest, that's a right that's protected, then justice isn't really served in that instance. So in that case, well, what do we do? And the answer is that we go to court and we seek an equitable remedy. And one important thing about equitable remedies is that they usually have to be sought pretty quickly. Like if there's a protest and you need an injunction, which is a type of equitable remedy, to tell the protesters to stop, well, you got to go in that morning while it's happening, because if you wait to file a statement of claim and serve it in the normal time frame, it's going to be too little too late. Another important thing about seeking an equitable remedy is that you have to come with clean hands. And what that means is you can't go to court seeking a fair and just remedy if you yourself have acted unfairly. It's not going to fly. So, there are several kinds of equitable remedies. We talked about an injunction, which is usually getting somebody to stop doing something. There's also specific performance, which asks somebody to do something. I gave an example in lecture where I had a case once where somebody had stolen somebody else's cat. And instead of money, I don't want, the value of my cat. I want my cat back. You can go to court and get an order of specific performance, which is an order to make somebody do something. And in this case, it would be to return the cat. And so that would also be considered an equitable remedy. And there's a few other examples listed here on the slide in your textbook that I will leave you to read by yourself. And if you have any questions, you know where to find me.